Well, hello everyone. Hello. It's me, Dr. Naita. How's everyone tonight? Come on in. It's time. It is time. Can you believe it? It is storming like crazy out here in this part of Florida, but it's all good because we are going to make this happen. So, look, welcome to Educational Moments with Dr. Naita, and I am so excited about tonight's show. Look, this show has been like giving birth, okay? Because I have had this vision for this show for so long, and I just wanted to make sure I had the right panelists with me. And I tell you, I do. I have some awesome math educators with us tonight. So, look, if you're a person who has struggled in math, or if you have a student that has struggled in math, then you need to be here tonight. So share this link. Share this link. Tell somebody you need to be here tonight because Dr. Naita is going to have some real math strategies with some real math experts who can help you accomplish your goals. Too often, I've seen college students change their career goals, change the complete trajectory that they were on because they struggled with the math. But tonight, I'm not saying that math is getting ready to be super easy. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that we are going to show you some strategies so that you can succeed. So tell somebody, get a paper, get a pencil, get some paper, because we're gonna have some good notes for you tonight. Tell somebody and come right back. All righty, well, it's time. I am not going to delay this any longer. I'm getting ready to bring in my guests. They came in by boat tonight because it is raining in Florida. So I'm bringing in none other than Mr. Dwayne Khan. I'm bringing in Professor Lee Shelser. I'm bringing in Miss Makara Beasley. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
It's so good to see everyone. And Lee, what are you doing?
Oh, I got some tricks for y'all. I can't show y'all what my tricks are yet, but I'm trying to get everything together.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you all are here tonight. Thank you for braving the elements, and we are just hoping that all of our internets and everything and electricity, all of that will maintain through this fierce thunderstorm that is passing through. But look, I'd like you to go around, because I still have to work on my Facebook over here. So I need you all to go around and introduce yourselves and tell me, what is your math superpower? Okay, because you all have something that you're super talented and gifted in the area of math. So what is your math superpower? So I think you all can see this. Next to me is Dwayne, then we'll go to Makira, and then we'll go to Lee. So Dwayne, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself and tell us what your math superpower is?
All right. Hello again, everyone. My name is Dwayne Khan. I've been an educator for 29 years, going on this year. I have the hairline that's gone and the gray hairs and the weight to show it. Most of my work has been in elementary school. I've also worked middle school and a lot with adults in mathematics. And I want to say my superpower is engagement. It's important, no matter who you deal with, to have engagement. Because a lot of times when people come to you and they want to let's say if they have to pass some sort of standardized test, and they're coming to you not liking math. So I have to make sure I keep it engaged, make it relevant to real life, and just keep it moving and show them that they can do it.
Very good. Thank you. Makira?
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. I am Makira Beasley. Currently, I am a high school math teacher. I have been teaching for 5 years. I will be going on my sixth year. So I am excited about that. I do have a little bit of background in middle school. But I would say that my superpower that I have noticed is being able to break concepts down into simpler forms in order for students to understand and grasp those difficult mathematical concepts. And just to piggyback on what Dwayne has said, I believe that whenever you can break those concepts down, you can get more students engaged with the math content. They become more confident with the math. So I really, really strive to make sure that my students have a very, very, very um, deep understanding with the math content. So that's my superpower.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Professor Lee Seltzer in the house, and he's no stranger to our show. Please talk to us.
Hello. I'm Professor Lee Seltzer, aka Professor Lilo. Everyone say I look like CeeLo Green, so why not Professor Lilo? The students like it. But my mathematics superpower is reaching the student where they are. Once I find out where the student is, then I can start there and build. I never want to try and teach a student something that they're not ready to learn. Eventually, they'll be ready to learn it. So finding out where they are, reaching them where they are, keeping them motivated, and lastly, use examples relating to food and money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, keep it relevant.
I need to write that one down. Ooh, yes.
And money.
Yes.
Everyone wants to eat, and everyone wants to spend some money some way, somehow.
I'm glad I thought of that, Professor Lilo.
Very good. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, tell you a little bit about the vision for this particular show. I was doing a workshop for 100 Black men of Silicon Valley. And we were talking about degrees and, degrees that do not lead to high paying, high earning, or high demand careers. And we were talking about how students, end up in those careers and why they choose those particular careers. And I was just saying how a lot of students come in to college with one career goal in mind, but math is their stumbling block. And because of that, they end up changing their complete trajectory of their careers, of their lives. So, that's one of the things we talked about in this workshop. And then from there, one of my friends, we were at a beach party. And he was we were talking about the show and everything. And we started talking about math. And then, and I said, you know what? I need to have a show. We need to bring on some educators from all levels to kind of talk about math and what are the stumbling blocks. So here we are. I'm so glad, I told you I wanted to find the right mix, and I have it tonight. I have a powerful mix of incredible instructors tonight. So look, let's start. We're gonna jump right in, okay? And we're gonna go for the juggler. And that is a lot of our minority students and our inner city students do not do well in math. They don't. And, and it has been historical, and it's not because they can't learn. It's not that at all, but it is the reality. So can you tell me, in your opinion, why you think the rates are so low? Why, math performance rates are so low, either amongst minorities or in the inner city, which a lot of times are, coexisting. So let's go ladies first.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think that a lot of our students lack the comprehension skills needed to work a lot of those mathematical problems. And I think that a lot of our students lack the abstract knowledge as well. And I think that a lot of our students are missing the fundamentals. So if they start off in elementary, and if they are just passed along, and if they don't, receive those fundamental skills that they need throughout elementary, throughout middle school. Then when they get to the high school level, they can't use their prior knowledge or use their fundamentals to tie in with new abstract learning that they learn in high school. So I really, really think that it's a lack of comprehension amongst our students. So we have to build, our students' comprehension level. And I also think that we have to practice those abstract skills with them.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you, Dwayne. Would you like to add in? Because
So let me pick up. Let me piggyback off of that. When they come in, a lot of times when they come in at a disadvantage. If they don't do pre-K somewhere, which a lot of our students do not, a lot of our minority students do not, they go straight to kindergarten. They're already at a disadvantage because they didn't get that just foundation and stuff. So they're already playing catch up. On the comprehension piece, as Ms. Beasley talked about, that is a big piece. So now we're putting in that reading component in there where they can't. During my day, we just had to work the numbers. Now they have words around those numbers. So if they can't read and comprehend a sentence, it's going to be hard for them to read and comprehend that mathematical sentence. The last thing, it could be the teacher. No one wants to admit it. But it could be the teacher. If the teacher is not coming in prepared and not thinking about what misconceptions the students might have in advance, or if I'm trying to teach them the way I was taught, which is not the way it is now, then the students will still be at a disadvantage. So it's on me as an educator to make sure that they get that I do my part to make sure that they're ready. I have to do my part to make sure they're ready. So some of it is teacher fault, because what happens is this. They had a teacher, in my opinion, they had a teacher that they didn't like for some reason in that math class. So they missed all the concepts that year. So when they move on to that next grade level, guess what? They're playing catch up.
Right.
They're playing catch up. And if they don't have that parent support at home, if they don't have those resources to get a tutor, then it's still building, and then they just have a dislike for math.
Wow. That you said a mouthful, and I'm going to hit on that. We'll come back to that because I know you want to focus on teacher preparation, but that was very good. Thank you for sharing that. Professor Lilo.
Well, I could sit here and talk for hours about what the students are missing. I think the first thing is we need to put excitement in mathematics very early in a child's life. We don't need to make them think that it's hard, that, when I was in school, as a parent, it was hard. And, then the child starts to feel before they even get to math that it's going to be difficult. It's something unreachable. Another thing is, I really don't like saying this, but the student is responsible for the knowledge of mathematics. The teachers are responsible, but so are the parents. And that's the missing piece. We have to get the parents involved early on. By the time a child is in third grade, they should already know their timetables. But the problem is, the summer going into the third grade, are the parents going to Dollar Tree or some Dollar General place, getting some addition, subtraction, and timetable cards and going over them with their child. When my daughter and my son, my son's about to go to college next weekend. Woof, they grow up so fast.
Next weekend.
We got to drive to North Carolina. Aggies, that's right. And my daughter, she's going to the 8th grade. I've taught 6 years high school, and then I've been at my present position on the collegiate level for about 16 years. So in all, I've been teaching mathematics for over 30 years. And what I always did was the summer. Say, for example, my daughter is going to the 5th grade in the fall. So what I would do, I would just go to one of the bookstores. This is one that I found in her room. She's going to the 8th grade, so this is kind of old. But it really doesn't matter the name, because all of them do about the same thing. this says grade 5. So what I would do, I would buy grade 5 and grade 6 for the summer. I always have to teach my kids a grade ahead, because when they get to class, I want them to know what's in class and also what's getting ready to come. And so this particular book cost me maybe $13. It says a whole year of curriculum-based exercises and activities in one fun book, and it has the color-coordinated pages, and it's really fun. And so spelling and vocabulary, language arts, reading and writing, math skills and word problems, multiplication and division, fractions and decimals, geometry and measurement, data, algebraic thinking, social studies, science. And so it gives them a lot of what they need. So the first, say, 2.5 months of the summer, this is what she's on, 5 days a week, Saturday and Sunday. She gets a break. Once she finishes this in 2 months, they actually can finish it. Just let them keep working until they get tired and they can stop. And usually they can do about 10 to 15 pages in a day. Let them take little 30-minute breaks. And then when she finishes with that, I get the same book for 6th grade. And so by the time she goes to 5th grade, she knows 5th and 6th. And it's really not as hard as it looks, because if you sit down with your child and go through it, some of the stuff that you may have forgotten, you will learn it as you sitting there with them. And that's great. Another thing, the last thing is when you're teaching the student mathematics early on, let's say kindergarten, find out what they like. And that's how you teach a child how to add. Okay. My son, he liked trains. So I went about 10 trains, the toy trains. And I said, this is one train. My daughter, she likes music. So I bought some drumsticks. And I say, this is 1. This is 2. Okay, yeah, it's kind of hard putting it in front of the camera. This is 2. This is 3. So now she can see what that represents, because she can physically see the number 3. Instead of saying, let's learn how to count to 10. 1, 1, 2, 2. They don't know. They're just repeating what you say. But when you put substance to it, 1, 2. Now you can go and get it some spoons and forks. 1, 2. And just let them know that, mathematics does have substance to it.
Wow, I love it. I love it. We do have one comment. One of the major issues with math at home is that it's okay not to be good in math. And, families will make an excuse for it. Oh, well, I wasn't good. Your mama not good. My mama and them not good. Nobody in our family good at math. Families will make excuses for poor performance in math. And I think you kind of hit on it, on finding some ways to, make it relevant, make it practical, and give it substance. And I love the idea of the trains and the drum,
the drumsticks.
Drumsticks, yeah. Yeah, drumsticks. All right, very good. All right, so as an educator at your specific level, what are some of the common behaviors that you see students exhibit, that hinders their success in math? And Mr. Khan, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to that parent involvement piece, because that was good, and the use of manipulatives, that's good as well. That's always a bonus. When we think about those timetables, that's foundational. I mean, there's no way they're going to be successful on Ms. Bees' level, and definitely not on Professor Lilo's level if they don't know the multiplication factor. They don't have. You're gonna be Professor Lilo. I'm sorry. That's it.
I love it. That's what I use. That's why I have.
I see you on the street. I'm saying, Lilo.
Like, what's up?
So one game changer that you see now in elementary school, we don't teach multiplication facts.
Exactly.
Back in the day, we had to know them, right?
Yes.
We don't teach them. It's not in the curriculum. What they do, they show the conceptual part of what a multiplication fact is with arrays and things like that. But as far as knowing 2 times 3 is 6, like that, just know them off the top of your head like that, that's not taught. So that has to be done at home. You will be surprised how many 5th graders don't know their multiplication facts. They're still counting on their fingers.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. So that comes with that parental involvement. that you mentioned before. And as much as we try to encourage them to go home and study them, it doesn't always happen. So it's just one of those things where, since they're missing that foundational piece, then that serves as a roadblock for them, and something as simple as the timetable. So there's also a lack of them not going home and doing that extra, and that could be directly related to what the good professor was saying about the parental involvement and them not staying on them, because they do have that mentality of, I'm not good at math either, but no one's trying to get better. It's that, I don't know if it's generation, I don't know what it is, but if you know you're not good at something, I was taught you trying to get better. Do what you need to do to make it happen. But I don't see it that much in the kids that I'm dealing with now. Not overall. Now I see it, but not as much as I would like to see it.
Okay, very good. Kira?
I would say that one thing that I have observed in the classroom is that as a teacher, when I'm teaching, a lot of students are afraid to ask questions. A lot of students are afraid to engage with the math content because it may be deemed as something that's too difficult, or they may be concerned about their image. If they feel if they ask questions that it may be deemed as, some of the terms they use, stupid or something of that nature. I do see a lot of what the other instructor was saying. A lot of students are not practicing the material. It's not enough to sit in the classroom to listen to your instructor. You also have to practice the material. You have to engage with your instructor, with your teacher. You have to ask questions. If you're not understanding something, you have to make use of office hours. You have to make use of any other resources that the school is providing. So practicing and engaging with that math material. But we as teachers, when we notice that students are not, engaging with the material, we have to step in. We have to do those checks for understanding. We may have to do independent learning. I know a lot of the students, what worked well for me, they like group learning. So maybe doing group learning, but I do see a lot that kids are just not just trying to be involved with math because they don't see the relevance. So we have to tie in the relevance, make it useful to what career job that they're trying to do in their lives. So that's what I've been observing.
Okay, very good, very good. And you said a lot, especially with the responsibility on the instructor to reach out to those students that you see are not doing the extra work at home, and they are not asking questions despite the fact they are demonstrating that they do not know the content. So coming up with new ideas and putting them in groups and in small groups so that they can work with others. And so, because kids like to teach each other. And those kids that are leaders, when they learn, then they're gonna go and show somebody else, So I love it. I love the discussion. Thank you. So everybody, here's my next question. What is your greatest concern?
No, I didn't talk yet. I want to get my part.
So sorry. Come on. What are the behaviors? Never let that go. Professor Lilo.
Yeah, let Lilo say a little something. So what we have to realize is that these students are little adults, little men, little women. Mm-hmm. They have issues just like we do. There's been some time I've come to work and I have a headache. But guess what? I popped the ibuprofen and they would never know the difference. Mm-hmm. You have to force yourself to smile even when you can't. Mm-hmm. And if you can't, that's why we have sick days. Mm-hmm. Because when you're there, you have to give that energy. And even though I've been teaching for over 30 years, that love for math hasn't died. I probably could teach for another 30, but I won't. I probably teach for another 10 to 15 and then retire and do something in mathematics. So I'll be an educator of math forever, lifelong learner. But we have to understand that these students sometimes come to class hungry. They come to class and they didn't get a good sleep. they come to class and, you know, mama or daddy just said something real bad to them and hurt their feelings. It's now they're going to class and now the teacher jumping on them because they don't know how to add, you know, 22 plus 33, you know. So we have to get to know each student individually and see what it is that they need, you know. We have to talk to them as if they are people. I know a lot of times, you know, some educators, they get to the point where you just do what I say and that's that. And I told you to learn your timetables. I told you to learn this and you came to class and it's not done. Well, what if the child went home and there was no food and no electricity? So that they can't even see what they're trying to do, you know? So you have to let them do it in the classroom, you know? And we just have to be understanding. We have to be loving, and we have to understand that these children do have issues just like we do, and try to make it as fun as you can. Smile, give positive reinforcements to students that are doing well in the class, as well as the ones that are not doing so well, because that little encouragement when they do get a problem right, ooh, very good, that looks good, I knew you could do it. Those little, you know, nuggets of, you know, acceptance to that child goes a long way. And I don't want to talk real long, but my son and I went into the driver's license place. He was about to get his he lost his license, so I can't have him driving around like that. So we
driving dirty.
Oh my goodness! I'm like, boy, you just haven't even had it 9 months, and so he lost his whole wallet. So we went into the driver's license place, and the lady at the window, she was just looking very sad, and so she was like, "Yes, may I help you?" And I went, "Whoa!" So I could have, you know, gave that negative energy back to her, but then I went to say, "Oh man, I love that necklace you have on. This is nice. My wife has one like that." And then she said, "Oh, really?" You know, so she kind of smiled a little bit, and so by the time me and my son actually got his license, he had to take another picture and everything. By the time we left out, she was laughing, have a blessed day. And her whole demeanor changed just because we didn't take the same route that she was sitting in. I don't know what's going on with her. I saw a wedding ring. It could have been a marital thing. I don't know. But what I do know is I have to relay positive energy, and I get positive energy back. And that's what I do with my students. I don't take it personal. Now, if they're blatantly disrespectful, let's pull them to the side. Hey, that's not how we talking here, you know. But other than that, you know, positive energy.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. So now everyone spoke. So, you know, as we are kind of coming out of COVID, and we know that a lot of students stayed home. A lot of students went to school this year, and I'm talking K-12 primarily, and, you know, at the college level. What are your biggest concerns about the kids who had to learn virtually for the last year, or even who came to school, but, you know, even with school, even in our district, it wasn't every day. Wasn't it like 3 days a week or something like that? You're on a couple and then virtual couple or something. So what are your biggest concerns as our nation and our kids around the nation start returning to school in the fall? Let's see. Lee, you get to go first this time.
Okay. My biggest concern is that there's no one size fit all. Students learn different ways. Some learn with music, which is not a lot of, you know, subjects being taught using music. Some students, you know, they need that teacher right there so they can raise their hand and ask questions. I see that a lot of times in the virtual, especially with my son and daughter, you know, in high school and middle school. A lot of times the virtual is the professor or the teacher teaching some material, but not necessarily wanting the students to interrupt them with questions, like save your questions to the end. So I would sit in sometimes because it's virtual. So my son would be on one side of the room at his desk on his laptop, my daughter would be on the other side. So I would pop back and forth just to kind of see what's going on. And for the most part, they didn't really entertain questions. Just hold on, we're going to go over that later. And the child has a question right now, you know. But with the virtual, sometimes the time is a little less than what it should be. So They're trying to cram all this information in the limited amount of time, and then not really entertaining the questions like they would in the classroom. So the virtual is a little different than in the actual classroom, in my opinion. Some students love virtual. A lot of students hate it. Some students like the face-to-face. A lot of developmental students, like in the basic math, elementary algebra, they like face-to-face. They like to be right there. Hey, I got a question right now, right here. I don't want to wait for your email to answer my question. Because your email could come the next day, and now I forgot the question that I wanted to ask.
So I don't have the time tomorrow to work on the problem that I have to work on today because I'm off work today.
That's right. That's right.
Today. Yeah.
Yes. And I just feel like with the virtual that it's keeping some of our kids behind as far as they don't learn everything that they should learn. And so they move forward to the next course without everything that they should know.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Makira?
I think that it's going to be a small deficit among our students. And I think that we as teachers are going to have to try to implement a lot of the things some of the students may have missed previously. We're going to have to tie that into our lesson. So another concern may be time management, with going back and teaching a lot of the skills that was supposed to be taught previously. So I think too that it may be a small little deficit. And then I think time management may be a concern. I know for me, I had the advantage of teaching brick and mortar, but I do know teachers who had to teach virtually, and they would express their concerns that a lot of the students seem to not be focused virtually. So I know that as those students are coming back, that we're going to have a lot of work cut out for us. And then my other concern will be if we're going to continue teaching virtually, if we're going to allow the students to come back. I really want to know what would be our plans.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Dwayne.
I definitely second both of those comments. I mean, if you think about it, spring break the previous year is when we got out.
Right.
Now, just think if that student never came back and they were just on virtually, and that same student, as mentioned before, if they're not engaged in the instruction, whether it's the teacher engagement or no one's on them at the house. In my role, I work with a small group of students, so I support the teacher. I work with the lowest students in the school.
Okay.
But I also got online with some students virtually as well. My biggest problem was their participation. I would call them in, they might answer virtually, but then hang up.
Oh wow!
Or they never show up. So we already had a deficit, and I know this. So just like what was mentioned earlier, I'm going to start off with the things they should have learned from the previous grade to make sure they have that. So I'm going to look at what the teacher's doing. And so if they're doing something, I'm going to do the second grade foundational piece or the third grade foundational piece, whatever it is, to help them catch up with what that teacher is talking about as well. Because I have to understand that. And it's we can always waste time saying what the students should be doing. Why can't they do this? But just as Professor Lilo said, I mean, we know what's going on. We need to know our students. So if we know our students, we need to handle it from there. We got to throw excuses out and get the work done. A lot of times we waste time with too much talking and complaining. When we could be planning.
Very good.
I'll take collection later. I'll take collection when it's over.
I love that T-shirt, by the way. Math is easy.
I know. I love it too.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, go on the model for us.
I see the egg right there on the hypotenuse.
Awesome. Did everyone get a chance to speak?
No,
yes.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm kidding.
But before you move on, can I get you to pull up that slide for me?
Ready for it now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can do this. Okay, I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I know I can. And okay, can you see? Let me take these banners down. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, yes.
You can? Okay, great.
Yes. So we all have been talking to some extent about how important multiplication is. There's a couple of things that if I were teaching elementary or middle school, and I don't know how y'all curriculum goes, but there's a lot of things that students can do with the timetable chart. If it were me, if I could, for third, well, maybe not third, maybe fourth, fifth, and sixth graders, if they don't know the timetables, I would put a timetable chart on every desk, like laminate it and just leave it on the desk. And I would let it stay there the whole time until they have a test. Then I would remove all of them from the desks. I wouldn't do the calculator thing. And then I would remove them from the desk and let them take the test without the timetable chart there. And I know you're saying that, well, how's that going to work? I had a student, a college student. He was in my elementary algebra class. He came to me the very first day, African American guy. Not that matters, but he came up to me and very honest guy. He said, "Professor Seltzer, I know I'm in the algebra class, but I don't know my timetables." And my mouth dropped. We're talking about collegiate level. So I'm thinking to myself, in the back of my mind, it's going to be hard for him to pass this class. But then he went on to say that, I'm not a slacker. I just, didn't learn it in elementary school and middle school. They let us use calculators, so I kind of got by. He said, but I'm going to learn my timetables if you would allow me to put the timetable chart on my desk during class. And then when we get ready to take our test, I'll put the timetable chart up and take my test. And he said, I'm going to learn my timetables and I'm going to pass your class with an A or a B. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Man, if I had just half the students with his caliber and his determination, and you saw the determination in his eyes, he had a desire to want to learn mathematics. That's something we cannot teach students. I could not teach a student to have a desire to want to learn math, because that's a big issue. If a student in college says, I don't want to learn math, there's really nothing I can do for them. But if they have a desire to want to learn, then you can. So he put the timetable chart on his desk during the class. When the test came, we got rid of it. And so do you know this guy at the end of the 16 weeks made a B in my class?
Right.
He was making A's and B's on tests. And so at the end, I had to ask him, I said, you were struggling the first test. The second test, your grade went up, third test, fourth test. As the grade kept going up, I like that. I don't like when the grade is high and then it keep going down. But they kept going up. And I said, wow. I said, you didn't know your timetable. He said, well, I know him now. And I said, how'd you do it? He said, when I took the timetable chart off my desk, I'm getting chills talking about it. He said, when I took the timetable chart off my desk and I started taking my test, I could see that timetable chart on that desk. Mm-hmm. I could see 9 times 9 is 81. I can see, 7 times 5 is 35. I can see that. And so he learned them by visualizing that timetable chart in his mind. And that just really touched me. And what I wanted to talk about here on the timetable chart, if you look at the first on the left column that goes up and down, right up under the time, the X, you see a 1 and a 2 right there. Go over to the next 1, 2. Okay, 1/2. Go to the next one, next to it. 2/4. 3 over 6. 4 over 8. Go all the way to 10 over 12. From 10 over 12 all the way back to 1/2, all of those are equal fractions. Mm-hmm. All of those are 1/2. Go down to 2/3.
I see it.
Go over to right there. 2/3. Mm-hmm. Go over 4/6, 6/9. All of those fractions are equal.
Yeah.
They all reduce to 2/3. When we say reduce, we mean simplified down to.
Come on.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Now what? Test the 1, and then over to the right. That 1 and go down to the 4. Okay, so you got the green one. Everyone look at the green one.
It's not green, it's
Oh, it's blue. Okay. Look at the orange 4 and the blue 1. So go back up to the 1.
The one here.
So we're reducing 1/4. Now go over next to the 1. You said 2.
Gotcha. 2
2
8,
8 is
3
1.
12,
There you go.
4 16.
There you go.
Wow.
All of those are equal. So we could do 5 6, 1/9. We can. So all those fractions of reducing is right in the timetable chart.
Wow. Right.
Look at the 1 times 1. You see a 1 there, and then 2 times 2. You see a 4, and then 9, 16 going diagonally down.
Yeah.
You see how the squares are getting bigger.
Yes.
It's a small square of 1, a bigger square of 4, area 9, 16. This is why we call them square numbers. When you multiply the number times itself, you get a perfect square. To find the area of a square, you multiply the same number times itself. Okay, and so you see how the squares are getting big. Look at the 10 times 10 is 100. That's the biggest square inside that timetable chart. Squared numbers. When you multiply the number times itself, you get the area of a square. That's why we call them square numbers.
I love this chart. I'm getting comments, and it's emojis of mind blown. Great chart. This is an awesome chart. Are you all seeing this on Facebook? This is an awesome chart. Thank you.
You know what, Professor? I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking about when you were explaining the whole situation between you and the student. If you would have approached him and said, "Man, come on, man, you are 18, 19 years old.
Exactly.
And you don't know your multiplication facts, man, go home and study. You're too big to have your chart."
Yes.
If you would have done that,
I would have lost him.
One.
He would not have passed my class with a B. And the problem is there are professors, teachers, a lot of people, as soon as a student comes up to them and say, "I know I'm in college, I know I'm taking algebra, but I don't know my timetables," that professor usually has cut them off in their mind saying they're going to fail.
Right. So that's a testament to you, my friend.
Yes.
Wow. Kudos. That is awesome. Thank you. That is awesome.
Oh, my bad. I'm glad I thought of it. Yeah.
Please use it, please.
I am.
All righty. So that was awesome. And that just leads right into, the next question. And that is, let's talk about success strategies. So each of you has a passion, a superpower. What are some success strategies from your superpower that you can share with our viewers? So again, we have some live viewers on Facebook, we have some on YouTube, and then of course it's going to air and people can come back to it. So Kira, what are some of the success strategies that you would like to share with, well, actually, let's start with Dwayne because he talks to teachers. So Dwayne, what are some success strategies that you can offer for faculty who are math educators and, definitely want to help their students succeed?
You know what? I lean on two things: my personal experience and my experience with working with novice teachers at a certain point in my life. When I first started and I used to go in and teach my lessons, you heard me mention earlier, I was that one that would teach them like I was taught. But when they're tested, it's a whole different ball game. And I didn't teach them like they're gonna be tested. So they didn't practice like they were going to play the game. And what I learned from me, the more I was prepared, the more I thought about, okay, they're going to have a problem with this, or they're not going to be able to see on this multiplication chart how this fraction and that fraction, for whatever the different colors or whatever. I need to consider all those different things before I teach that lesson. And then I need to have some other stuff in place for those ones that I know are going to have a difficult time. I need to already have them planned to be in a certain group so they can go ahead and work together, and I work with them on reaching that strategy. Preparation is key, because what also happens with preparation, you want to make sure it's engaging for them. You can't do that. That teacher that was on that virtual professor and they were just having them sit and get. No, you can't do that to the students these days. You can't do that to us.
Right.
I think about when I'm looking at a Hulu and a commercial come up. I'm like, I don't want to see a commercial, right? Because we're so used to just having things the way we want them having everything fast. So we got to think about how that student is thinking. That student needs to be engaged. We need to be engaged when we're in a workshop. If they just sit there and talk to us the whole time and don't give us anything to work with, we're gonna start talking, texting, and whatever other tea we can think about. So we got to think about that with our students. It's all about that preparation. And what else does it do? Not only does it get that engagement in, but it also keeps that behavior down. I mean, you give it a room when you got to sit there and look for your, I know I have a chart somewhere. Hold up. Y'all be quiet. That's what happens. They get that opening. They get that opening, and they're going to be kids.
That's right.
They're going to be kids. And we got to understand they are kids. This is a second grader. I can't act like an adult. You need to be more mature. They're not. They're not. So we got to keep all that in mind as we're preparing to every day teach these students for that length of time. Preparation is the key.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Makira.
So for my strategies, I want to go back to what Professor Lilo talked about when he talked about those manipulatives. So I do a lot of geometry. So in geometry, manipulatives are very, very, very important. And I think that parents at home or students at home can find any type of manipulative. So for example, if you're working on word problems, whatever word problems you're working on, if you can find any of those manipulatives in your home to use to kind of help you understand and comprehend those problems. But for an example, in geometry, we were working on nets. And my students told me, I just do not understand. I don't see how when they folded that figure, or when they took that figure and laid it out, that they got that net. So I was steady trying to explain it. And I said, you know what? Let me stop what I'm doing and let me just give them a concrete example that they could feel and use to try to understand this. So I actually took whatever I could find in my classroom. I actually cut it out, put it together. And when I showed them that whenever you fold this sheet of paper together, that you're going to get this solid, they was like, oh my God, now I can see the net. So using those manipulatives help a lot. Problem solving skills, problem solving strategies, they're very, very, very important. I noticed that a lot of students, they will write notes all day and say, I did my work. They'll even go home and tell their parents, I did my work in class, Mom wrote my notes. It's more than just writing notes. You have to be able to understand what you're writing. So understanding the why and how everything works. So practicing those math literacy skills. I like to tell people for problem solving strategies, underline the important information. Now with this important information in geometry, what figures can we draw? When we draw these figures, what steps, what previous math skills we used before are we going to use to figure out how to solve this? What equation can I set up? What other math skills have I learned can I use to actually solve this? So problem solving strategies are very important. And one thing that I have been teaching, since I am kind of semi-new math teacher, is growth mindset. So a lot of students, they come in with negative thoughts about math. As Miss Atia has already told us, they hate math. So I'm trying to build confidence. I'm trying to build a positive mindset when it comes to mathematics. And the only way that you can build that is if students feel confident that they can actually solve these math problems. So growth mindset, problem solving strategies, using manipulatives, and I can go on and on and on. Interactive notebooks, that help a lot. Technology, definitely. Students, they love to be on their phone nowadays. A lot of students, they like to play Kahoot. That's a fun math game a lot of teachers like to do. But definitely technology. I know for me, with geometry, I use something called GeoGebra. I don't know if you all heard of that. It's an interactive online math system where they can go in and create shapes. They can do proofs with it. They could do all type of things, measurements, everything. So those are some strategies I feel that they could use.
All right, very good. Thank you. What was the name of it? It was GeoGebra?
GeoGebra. It incorporates geometry and algebra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to GeoGebra.
Ooh, I
We
like
also
that.
use Desmos. Desmos incorporate algebra, geometry, calculus, and I think it also incorporates statistics. So if they ever want to, for example, I tell my students, if you don't have a scientific calculator, you can always go into Desmos and input whatever you need to input on Desmos, and it'll output it on the screen for them.
Is it a free program?
Yes, GeoGebra and Desmos is a free program.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So check it out. It's nice.
The Desmos, is that the one that does algebra?
Mm-hmm.
You can draw pictures with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you spell that one?
Desmos.
Mm.
And then
Free also?
GeoGebra is GeoGebra.
Ah, I got it right. Yes.
Is Desmos free as well?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Again for me.
It's a free scientific calculator. And you can also do some of the functions that you can do on GeoGebra as well.
That's a good look.
Spell the D one again for me. Desmos.
Desmos.
Okay, very good. I love it. All right. Yes. I told y'all this was gonna be good. Wait a minute. I'm getting comments. Okay, let's see. Now we're gonna let you join the session. Share. Okay. I just sent it. Okay. Okay. I just sent it. He has it. Okay. I'm trying to respond to that. Okay, Lee. You are up. So again, the question at hand there is what can parents do to help their students succeed?
You have to find out where your child is, and you have to reach them where they are. You have to have positive reinforcements, and you have to work on vocabulary. Vocabulary is huge. And anyone can help their child with vocabulary. All you have to do, tell them to bring their math book home. What chapter y'all on? Y'all on chapter 1? Okay. And let's say if it's a geometry book and we're in chapter 1 and chapter 2, that's what we've been working on. Okay, let's go there. Let's go and get some note cards. And for example, if we were doing, the polygons, on the front you would write on the front of the note card, doesn't matter what size, you would write a geometric figure with 3 or more sides. And on the back, you would put the word triangle real small so you can't look through the card and see the answer. Put that down. Then the next one, a geometric figure with 4 sides. You turn it over, put quadrilateral. The next one, the geometric figure with 5 sides. On the back, you put pentagon. And so eventually, they're going to have a nice little stack of cards, vocabulary card for chapter 1. Then chapter 2, same thing. And you always keep those cards together. Keep a little rubber band around them. You all are driving to Birmingham for the weekend. Okay. Always make your child, your student, bring those note cards and put that iPhone down for the next hour. I need you to go over these note cards. And then maybe if I'm driving, I'll have my wife to, call out these note cards and see if my daughter knows them. Okay, a geometric figure with 3 sides, and she'll say quadrilateral. Wrong. That goes to the back of the list. You're going to come back to that again. The answer was triangle. Okay, a geometric figure with 4 sides. What's the answer? Oh, that's a quadrilateral. Good. You put that off to the side. And eventually that stack of cards go all the way down, and the only ones left in your hand are the ones that they keep missing. Now you know specifically what vocabulary words they don't know. In the elementary and middle school, I feel that the English teacher and the math teacher should be best friends. The vocabulary words in the back of that chapter need to be printed out and given to that English teacher a month or 2 before school even starts. Try to intertwine those words. It's their English words. They're going to help the child understand what's going on in my class because they don't understand the definitions. But if I'm giving you these are all the vocabulary out of my index for my math book, for my 5th grade class, my 4th grade class. Can you somehow intertwine these words creatively, maybe have a math word wall in the English class, and that same math word wall in the math class. Of course, when the standardized test comes, you have to cover it up and take it down. But the whole year, they're seeing these words, they're seeing these definitions. So now, when they read the directions, okay, of the following polygons, name how many figures, they know what polygon means. They know what some of the polygons are. They know a square and a rectangle are both quadrilaterals, because they have 4 sides. So it's a lot of things that they can learn from vocabulary. That's why students don't like word problems, and parents can definitely help with the definitions.
Awesome. Now, you talked about using making flashcards. You just make them out of index cards. We're not
That's
talking
right.
about anything expensive.
Right.
So I'm getting a pack of index cards from the dollar store and write, the different words, different math words. The sum of something. That means to add it. The
That's right.
means subtract.
That's right.
So these words are the words that trip our students up
Yes.
when they're trying to complete, math problems and word problems. And it's simply because they don't know the definitions. I'm getting like notes from all over the place, and I'm trying to keep up with everything. But people seem to really, really be enjoying this discussion. So that's a great thing.
And you know what, Lee? I'm hearing you say that parents need to talk to their kids more.
There you go.
That's all I'm hearing you say. That's all I'm hearing you say. Put down your phone.
Yes.
I know I got you the phone. I know I got you these games for you to be out my way. But you know what? I want to talk to you. You want them to talk more? That's what you say.
Yes. Put the technology down and let them earn the technology. Okay. I told my daughter, I really didn't want to get her a phone, but she's in middle school, the brother about to go to college, so I got a cell phone about a year ago, and so I told her, as soon as you get home, that cell phone is off. You home. It's time for work. It's time to eat. Take a shower, whatever. Let's get to that work, and we have conversation. We actually eat together. And I talk about how was your day. We do high and low. I got it from some movie. What was your high? What was your low today? And we sit down and we talk, and that conversation helps with social development, interactions, and it helps with confidence. Look me in my eye when you're talking to me. All of those things that actually matter. And if parents, especially during this time, this is the time where parents can actually see what their child is doing.
Yes.
What they know. You can sit right next to them and watch what the teacher's doing, what the student is doing, and you kind of have an idea of what they were doing in class. So when the class is over later on that day, hey, I see y'all were working on this in the class. Hey, I found some online. Let's go over this together. Let's look at this. Right. And all of those things really do help.
And see, the reason why I really heard that is because I can sometimes I go somewhere to eat, and you see parents and the kids, and the kids are just the thumb. It's all thumb.
Yes.
No one's talking.
No one's talking.
Yes. The parent might be on their phone too.
Yes.
No one's talking, and that just throws me off because people, the conversation piece isn't there like it used to be,
and it helps so much. It does.
It really does.
Just for the child to know that I'm concerned about your education, and I know that I don't know how to do algebra, but let's go over some definitions. What do you feel like you're having problems with? Okay, let me see if I can find somebody that can help you and help me. And see, what I want the parents to do is, no matter where you are in mathematics, don't tell the child that math is hard, even if you think it, and let the child know, I know I don't know it, but I'm willing to learn it with you.
That would be impactful right there.
And even if the parent just learned how to add a -5 + 6 is 1, they've learned something that they didn't know or that they have forgotten, and that motivates the child to go, oh, I know that, I know more than you. Okay, that's good. Let's do the next one, And so just let them know, we're going to learn this together.
Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of funny that I didn't hear anyone say anything to coaching or tutoring. Now, through the years, I have utilized a math coach with my daughter. and it's been none other than Professor Lee Seltzer. And she has been receiving his coaching since she was in the third grade. And, of course, she went on through calculus and, she's doing, great things and stuff. Thank you to the Seltzer family. Not only did you get tutored, but you get fed. And
oh, yeah.
Hey,
I'm from Alabama. We could throw down a little bit,
A little bit. Oh, my God. So, but tutoring. And then, and if you don't like the word tutoring, then coaching.
Coaching.
My family, we're all sports. Okay. So, we do everything that all my examples are around sports and everything. So, it's about coaching. So I've always used a math coach. And even when the boys may have had some struggles in math, I think there was a time when one of the boys was having a problem in calculus at school. We reached out to Professor Lee and, could throw in some extra strategies to help them along the way. But, coaching and, just like we invest, parents, we invest in these phones and we invest in those shoes and those name brand shoes. We have to be willing to pay that extra price to make sure that our students are succeeding. And if they need some extra help, then we have to be willing to pay for that extra help. Get the tutoring your students need so that they can be successful. Oh, well, I can't afford that, but you can afford these.
Yes.
That investment in their intellect will last a whole lot longer than investment in those shoes.
Yeah, or that iPad,
they're
or that
gonna grow
iPhone.
out of next week, especially boys. They're gonna grow out of them next week. So, so that's my 2 cents in that. We have to be willing to invest it, and just like we pay for them to go to all these sports camps and to go to these trainings and stuff, we can find the money, raise the money, do whatever we have to do so that they can get the academic foundation that they need to be successful. So
and there's so many free resources out there. There are plenty of free resources out there.
Yes.
Engaging free resources.
Absolutely.
If you just sit down and take the time to get into it.
Yeah, because look at all the programs that they go through. They get volunteers to come from different companies, and we're ready to tutor students. And then you have the tutors. We have 10 tutors there ready to tutor, and then 4 students show up.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, we have to, as parents, we have to be responsible for our young person's success and get them there. We can get them there to all the games. We can get them to practice.
Yes.
We can get them to tutoring. So that's my soapbox on that. So we're going to take a commercial break because we have to shout out our sponsor for the show. And our sponsor this week is Fight to Smile. And Fight to Smile is who? That's me. And Fight to Smile, of course, here's a little commercial for our sponsor. Welcome back and Fight to Smile.
I like that.
Thank you.
Did you slip in a picture of you with your natural hair in there?
Oh, yes.
That was a quick one too. I saw it. Okay.
Fight to Smile is my new campaign for career-minded women of all ages. Okay, whether they're entrepreneurs or they go to work 9 to 5, but it is I provide motivational, encouraging, empowering content for women who are determined to win despite the obstacles, despite the challenge. They continue to stand strong in their beliefs, hold their head up, and continue to smile despite the challenges that they face. So Fight to Smile, join the movement. We even have t-shirts now. My store was supposed to open today and it's going to open tomorrow. So one store, but Fight to Smile. So with that, we are at the end. My show normally lasts about 30 minutes, but I knew this was going to be a hot topic, and I wanted everyone to get a chance to share their heart, share their concern, their passion for math. But at this time, we're going to start wrapping it up, and we'll just go around the circle. Of course, we'll go with ladies first. And do you have any final remarks or final words of encouragement for our math students or parents of students?
I just want to encourage everyone to not give up, to find something that works best for you. If you have a child at home that's struggling with math, see if they could find a teacher. It doesn't even have to be their academic teacher. See if they can find a teacher or someone at the school that they could utilize to help them, with whatever they're struggling in mathematically. And I just want to encourage everyone to keep going. I know that math is one of those difficult subjects, but I promise you that if you are determined and if you put in the work, that you definitely succeed. And I just want to thank you, Dr. Natia, for having me. I really enjoyed it, and really nice meeting everyone else that was here. I gathered a lot of information that I'm going to use and take with me along the way. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Dwayne?
Teachers, over prepare.
Nice.
Know your students. That's
Yes.
what mentioned by Professor Lee. Know your students. Know your students and be willing to go that extra mile. I always think about how when this student goes to this next grade level, my name is on their transcript. My name is on their transcript. So I got to think about what product I'm sending to the next grade level. I got to always think about that. My name is on the line. I talk a lot of stuff, and so I have to back it up. But the only way I can back it up is if I'm over prepared.
Love it. All righty. And Professor Lee Seltzer, otherwise known as Professor Lilo.
I want to say to the teachers, just understand that children go through issues just like we do. Sometimes their back hurts, sometimes they have a headache, sometimes they just didn't have breakfast and just a little irritable. So just keep that in mind when you assume, you're talking to me a certain way. You have a little attitude in your voice. You're this, you're that. Just find out what's going on. You okay? Is there anything I can help you with? Do you need some paper, pencil? Keep snacks in your drawer. Some cheese crackers or something. Give it to the child, or make sure they're eating breakfast in the morning, and just be patient with them, and just love is the greatest gift. And then for the student, you have to also understand that teachers go through things too, and when you come to the classroom, don't expect every teacher to be smiling, because they could really be going through something. We have COVID-19, people are dying, people are losing jobs, getting furloughed, so there are a lot of things that they're going through as well. So be patient with the teacher, teachers be patient with the student, and let's all just get along and understand that we're trying to reach the same end result, which is the student being prepared to maybe go to college someday.
Awesome. That is awesome. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I'm checking. I don't see any new comments. Nothing by text. Well, wait a minute. I have one. Nope, nothing by text. So we are good. I appreciate you all. Thank you for all that you do in the classroom. Thank you for all that you do for our next generation. You all are phenomenal teachers. I always say teachers are magical unicorns because of the magic that they can work in the classroom. So we appreciate you, from the community standpoint, we appreciate everything that you're doing. And then I appreciate you for coming out to Educational Moments with Dr. Naita. And with that, we'll close out. So thank you and good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.